Hello, everybody. Hope y'all doing good today. It is, I think, afternoon for me. I have just lost track of the time. It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So, I've been trying to do this video technically since yesterday, but really all day today for sure. It's something that um, is very important to me, and that's organization. Now, you probably can't tell that I'm a very organized kind of person based on what my house looks like right now, but I am. I love to be organized. I love to organize. Again, kind of hard to tell right now, but that's beside the point. So I thought I would do a series of being organized, getting organized, and see how that goes. See if everyone likes it. So I know for me, in my younger days, seems like a lifetime ago, but in my younger days, um, I really didn't know how to do anything. Like, I knew very little how to cook. I didn't know how to clean at all. But I just kind of, it's not rocket science. It's fairly easy. You get a rag and some kind of cleaning solution and go to town. But there's a lot of people that their house gets messy and they get overwhelmed and they don't really know where to start. So I'm going to do a couple of videos. I don't know how many. I'll just play it by ear and see if this is helpful to anyone. It would have been helpful to me back then, I think. So um, the first video I'm going to do is about grocery shopping. Now, that's mostly because grocery shopping day is fast approaching me and I'm not ready yet. I have my list about halfway done and my menu about halfway done, and that's at this late in the day. This is the 25th, so, and I do my shopping 30 days out. So that's just what I do. It's what is easier for me. Now, that doesn't mean I don't go to the store um, periodically through the month to get things that maybe I ran out of because I used more than I thought I would, or maybe just something that I overlooked somehow. But I'm going to tell you and show you what I did or what I do, and maybe that'll help you guys. So, right off the bat, I thought about the scripture, uh, 1 Corinthians 14:33. And it says that God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. So, organization, organization and chaos do not coincide. You cannot have chaos and have peace. Ain't happening. So, I think it's very important to be organized. Just, when your house is clean, you feel better. It affects our mood. So, anyway, we're going to start out with shopping. Now, the step number one, you're going to create a menu and you're going to include 3 meals a day plus 2 snacks. So if you only want to do 2 weeks, then you can do 2 weeks. If you want to do 3 days, do 3 days. Whatever time frame you shop for normally, do that. I do 30 days because that's what we do. Then, after you've made your menu, be real specific when you make your menu. This is how mine is. I've got supper, I've got lunch, I've got breakfast, and then I've got snacks. So what I'll do is, like, for this one, I have sketty and garlic bread, and I've got 4 times I'll make that. Number two, I've got smokies and shells. Those little smokies with the macaroni and cheese and shells and cheese. I'm going to make that twice. Stroganoff, tacos, and you just list your menu or list your meal in one column for supper. Lunch, same way. So I've got tuna salad. I'm going to make that 4 times. Chicken salad, probably only going to make it once. Um, Chicken noodle dinner. It's I make my own Alfredo sauce, and then I put a can of chicken in it and sometimes egg noodles. It just depends what I have laying around. Then I've also got sausage balls with garlic bread. I try to make lunch a little bigger than I would supper, depending on the time of year it is, if that makes sense. I may be getting into a whole different thing here. I don't know. If it's summertime, I'll make lunch meal really big. And then our supper menu, I won't make it very big at all, just kind of light. I just kind of mix those around. Usually because we're working outside a lot of times in the summer, and it's just you need that food, that energy to fuel your body so you can work. And then breakfast, I've got my glasses on. I've got breakfast casserole, French toast, and then I've got the breakfast casserole. I've got 6 times, French toast twice, dirty eggs 4 times. So I've got my breakfast, lunch, and supper right there. Then over here, I've got snacks: peanut butter crackers, Vienna sausages and crackers. See how he eats that nastiness, but he does. Ball. Yogurt, Pop Tarts, peanut butter cookies, Rice Krispie treats, and Nutella. Now, I also have another little column right here, and that says frozen because that's what I'm going to prepare, put together, and then put in the freezer for later. Um, and in that column, I've got Chicky Pot Pie or Chicky Hot Pocket. I'm gonna have that six batches of those. Philly Steak Hot Pocket, again 6 batches of those. Burritos, goulash. You just write down these things, and if you go to the store with this, you won't. It'll do a couple of things. It'll save you money because you're not just aimlessly wandering. Um, oh, let's see. Well, I might make that. Oh, that looks really good. And don't go to the store hungry. Don't go full either because you won't buy anything. But so there's that. Um, that was step 2, is making a grocery list. Did I say that? We did 1. Create your menu. Okay, that's what it was. Step 1, create your menu. Include all 3 meals and 2 snacks for every day. Step 2, make a grocery list based on that menu you just came up with. Now, that's probably the easiest part in this whole deal, because it's very easy to, like, for for my for my supper, I've got can I say for my sketty with garlic bread, and I'm going to make it 4 times. So I'm going to need at least 4 pounds of hamburger just for that particular meal. 4 meals. So, which is why I put how many times I'm going to make it, because after when you're making your grocery list and you got hamburger, you're going to go down here and see how many times you're using hamburger, and then you'll add it all up. Okay, well, I need 20 pounds of hamburger meat. And so when you go to make your grocery list, you'll write hamburger 20 pounds. So that's the easiest part of this whole uh, grocery shopping, being organized about it. I don't know where my list is. Anyway, so step 1, create your menu. Step 2, make a grocery list based on that menu. Step 3, and this is the fun part, depending on who you are, go into the store. Now, when you go to the store, only buy what's on the list. This is probably the most difficult thing in this whole process, especially when you have 2 boys with you that come to you going, "Can we get this, Mommy? Can we get this, Mommy?" Yes, I'm referring to my husband as a boy right there. 2 boys, our son and my husband. But it's cute. It's really not that bad. I'm exaggerating, obviously. So, um, but he's doing so good. Like, compared to when we first were together and we would go grocery shopping, compared to now, oh man, night and day. He was worse than a child then. But, it was just the 2 of us. We didn't have Daniel, obviously, then. So it was, anyway. Buying the stuff that's only on your list, again, is going to do it's going to save you money. It's going to save you time. It's going to save you money. That's the biggest thing to me. When you already know what you're going to be buying, it's not a big, what should I get? Then you do it quickly. You're more efficient. And I mean, I can't stress this enough. You save a lot of money. You would be surprised. If you do this, you're going to be shocked how much money you save. It really is. Um, Also, start at one end of the store and go. Now, you don't have to go down each and every aisle. I mean, if you don't need nothing on the baking aisle, you don't have to go down it. I suggest going down each and every aisle because who knows? Maybe there was something you forgot to add on your list from your menu. With me, especially, it's difficult because the longer you shop for, the harder it is to make sure you get everything because there's so much. Um, if you're only doing for a few days, it's not that difficult at all. You can, just kind of run in there and run out. But if for some reason you've missed something on your list and you're walking down that aisle and you're like, oh, I forgot I didn't put this on the list and I need this for this meal, whatever it is. So it's really good to go down each and every aisle. And I know that sounds like maybe silly that how can that be a time saver, but it really is, because you don't want to get home and realize that you have forgotten something because you didn't go down that aisle, which I've done, and that is frustrating, beyond frustrating. Okay, step 1, step 2, step 3 was go to the store and buy only what's on your list. Step 4, put your groceries away immediately. As soon as you get home, start putting that stuff up. And if you do that, I have this theory, this mindset of everything in its place, everything has a place. And if you will make yourself have that mindset, things in life all around is going to be easier. Um, Daniel struggles with that. He has a hard time of one even having a place for something because he'll move it or forget about it or whatever. He has a hard time putting stuff back when he's done with it, which is a lot of the reason why my house looks the way it does. Not completely his fault, but a lot of it. So when you come home, don't come in there and sit down. Immediately start putting your stuff up. Obviously, put things up that will spoil or go bad. All the refrigeration stuff, put it up. Stuff that goes in the freezer, those are the first two things you do. After that, start with everything else, or finish up with everything else. Um, Also, step 4 includes um, divvying up your freezer item, or your, like if you're gonna freeze some of your hamburger meat, that's the time when you're gonna do that. But after you've put all your groceries away, so you go in, you put all your groceries away. Now you're gonna start divvying up your hamburger meat. You bought 20 pounds of hamburger meat, so if you're going to make, if every dish you have that you're using hamburger meat, if it's all going to be 1 pound, then you need to package 1 pound of hamburger meat per bag or baggie. Use the freezer bags. Use the freezer bags. And a little tip, the little slider thing, don't use those. Use the one that you have to snap all the way across. I learned this the hard way. When you use the little sliders, yeah, it's easier at that moment, but sometimes I guess because it's in the freezer and the cold messes it up, the little thingy will come off or it just stops working altogether. It's just, I don't know. I find it very annoying and that it don't work as well as the little snap, or that you seal with your fingers all the way across. Just my little personal opinion there. Um, but separate them into 1 pound packages. Um, like meatloaf, when I make a meatloaf, I'll double the recipe. Therefore, I'm going to need 2 pounds. Actually, I don't even use a whole pound of meat. If I'm making tacos and it says 1 pound ground hamburger, I use from about half to 3/4 of a pound. Again, it saves money. It's better for you. So that's just what I do. But anyway, separate that. Get you a scale, or you can just kind of eyeball it, set it all out there, and then you can just kind of eyeball it into 10 chunks, wads. But I have a scale I use, and that helps me to make sure I get exactly the amount I want to use. So then you're going to freeze that. Same thing with your chicken. If you're um, going to make uh, chicken enchiladas, you know, have what you're doing here by freezing, separating, packaging it up, divvying it all up. You're prepping. Like if you worked in a restaurant, you have to prep food for the next day or for the next person coming in behind you. Just prepping is so important, and it saves you steps along the way, and it just makes your life easier. And it truly does. I mean, you're going to take the time then to do all these things, but you're saving time later on, if that makes sense. Like this shopping day, it's a whole day for me. Like that's all I'm going to be doing that day. Nothing else. I have a lot that I do so that it saves me later on. And buddy, it saves me later on big time. So what you're going to do is like if you're going to make chicken enchiladas, you're going to cut up the raw meat, stick it in the bag, or you can go ahead and cook the chicken so that it's cooked already and just ready to go. Um, I do it both ways. Like with the hamburger meat, there's some hamburger meat in the freezer that is already cooked and ready to go. And then I've got some that is raw. I've done a couple, I know I've done at least one video on freezing the hamburger and stuff. Um, but doing this prep work saves you later on. And I just kind of enjoy it, actually. It's a lot of work, but I do enjoy it. But that's what you're doing. You are just prepping for yourself for later on. Um, you want to set yourself up for success. You don't want to be in the kitchen going, ugh, what am I going to cook tonight? Going through the I've done that. Going through the cabinet doors, going, what should I eat? What should I make? Go to the pantry, just stand there looking at all the stuff that's uncooked and have absolutely no idea what I'm going to cook, having zero idea of what I want to make. So you're doing all this to save yourself a lot. Money, time, sanity. These are all very important things. Um, when you when you prepare ahead of time, the what you save yourself in the time is time you can spend more time you can spend with your family later on. So that whole day I take shopping, and of course they go with me. We all go together. We go together everywhere. But anyway, the time that is actually shopping at the store, then we come home, and then I do all the prep work while they're doing other things. Um, that time that takes a while, I mean, several hours. It may seem like it's time away from them, but if I was to wait until the day of I was going to make my tacos or whatever, it would take me twice as long, if not more, because I don't have any prep done. I don't have any prep work done. I'm having to start from the beginning, and I don't like that. And you're saving yourself time. You're saving yourself sanity, and I think those things are very important. Um, when you oh, make sure the things that you're cooking are going to be cooking. Make sure it freezes well. Um, like mashed potatoes. I don't know. I don't think I've ever frozen mashed potatoes after I've made them. Um, I've heard it was just fine. In fact, I plan on trying it out um, this next month coming up, just to see if I can see how that works. But make sure that you freeze it properly. Um, what I'm going to do when I do the potatoes this time, I'm going to make my mashed potatoes like I normally do, and the bowl that I'm going to put it in is going to be obviously a freezer safe bowl. I may put it in a baggie actually. Anyway, I'm going to coat it in butter, real butter. I only use real butter, and see if that will protect it from being frozen. And I don't know. I'm going to try that out though. Um, what was the other thing I wanted to say? Um, when you divvy up your hamburger meat and things like that, don't forget about your vegetables. Now, I have frozen onions, did just fine. Garlic, just fine. Now, after you freeze these vegetables, if you was to like try to eat them raw, they're not going to have that crunch that you have when they're fresh raw vegetables. So it's mostly for cooking, if to prep vegetables. Um, what I like to do is I'll get an onion and I'll just chop that sucker up, and well, more than one, but I will chop them up into tiny little squares, and then some I'll leave in circles, and then my bell peppers, same way. When I prep them, I cut them up into chunks for cooking, and then I'll cut some into the long little strips, and those are for eating. Which I won't freeze the ones that are going to be eaten raw. But you get a bunch of little baggies. I probably keep the baggy people in business. It is ridiculous the amount of baggies I buy. There's got to be a better way. I've yet to find it. Um, and I rinse out and wash a lot of my baggies. I still use a lot. But anyway, um, You cut them up, put them in the refrigerator, and that way when someone wants a healthy snack, it's already right there. They don't have to go in and cut up a vegetable and do all that, because you try to eat healthy, you want to eat healthy, but when you're hungry, you want it right then. You don't want to go through all the hassle of cutting up a vegetable and rinsing it off, and it just seems overwhelming, and then you don't end up eating it. You go grab a bag of chips instead. So um, doing prep work is just, it's really important. You're setting yourself up for success in many areas, so that way you have more time with your family. And uh, this whole organization series that I'm going to do, that I've started with this one, is kind of the same mindset. It's all for a purpose, and that's other than just, being clean. You want to do these things so that you can have more time to spend with your family, that you're not cleaning or working, you know. Or you have more time to make videos. Oh goodness. So anyway, I think that's about it. It's not rocket science, just grocery shopping. Um, there was something else I wanted to say, but I can't remember now what it is. I'm sure I'll remember it after I start the upload. Um, Anywho, I hope this helped you in some ways. Um, Maybe if you have some tips I didn't mention that you've been doing for years, let us know in the comments. We would love to read them and learn too. This is a two-way street. I can learn from you guys. You can learn from me. Doesn't have to be one-sided, because I certainly don't have all the answers. So I think that's about all. Next, we're going to tackle cleaning. All right. Thanks so much for taking time out and listening to me go on and on about nothing sometimes. Appreciate y'all. Give me a like. Subscribe if you would like to follow us along. We have some fun, crazy times. Thanks, y'all. See you next time.